Hey, it's TimesCroak11 with another set of Q&A answers. I have not gotten any more viewer questions since the last time, but I have gotten some questions from people I know, so I'm going to be using those. So the first one was, what would my weapon of choice be if I got isekai'd? And that's easy, longsword. I'd absolutely want to use a longsword, but depending on how magic works in the isekai world in the world that I got isekai'd into, then I'd also want to be half mage, swordsman mage hybrid such as Robin in Fire Emblem. So that would be my most preferred role and weapon of choice, but that would depend on just how magic works in that world that I got isekai'd into. For example, if it's something where just anyone, regardless of what you use, can use magic, like in Rising of the Shield Hero, then obviously that'd be a moot point. Then the next question is, if I could give a buff to one Pokemon without changing its base stat total, what would I do for it? So the one that I would want to buff the most would probably be Mimikyu, and the way I would buff it without changing base stat total would be to take off 15 special attack, which it doesn't use for anything anyway. Special attack is pretty much useless on it. And then I'd put 5 into speed, 5 into attack, and 5 into HP. Not an extreme buff, but should really help it by bumping up its speed and attack, and then HP not really too helpful, but a bit more useful than having it in special attack. So I think that would be enough to make Mimikyu far more useful. And also I would reverse the Disguise nerf, because that was just a really stupid decision to nerf Disguise like that, especially when Mimikyu was already never extremely powerful as it was. Then, next question is, what is my favorite Breath of the Wild region? So that's probably going to be West Necluda. I think that was it. The one where Hateno Village is in. That's probably my favorite Breath of the Wild region. And, well, it depends on if it's going by towers, then West Necluda includes. I mean, then yeah, if going by towers, then just the Hateno region. But if going by whole areas, then West Necluda, because that also includes the Twin Peaks region. And the Twin Peaks Mountains is one of my favorite landmarks in the game. And for those being my favorite regions in general, that's mostly because I just really like the forest climate of those. Though Hyrule Field also is pretty close for Central Hyrule region, because that also has really nice forests and plains in it. So it's kind of a tough question to give an exact answer on, but basically, Twin Peaks, Central Hyrule, and Hateno are all among my favorite areas in Breath of the Wild. And if I had to pick just one specific location, then I guess Hateno Village because of the forests around it. Next question is, what is my favorite house in Fire Emblem Three Houses? That's an easy one. Black Eagles, absolutely Black Eagles. I do not like Edelgard at all, but I love the Black Eagles class. They have the majority of my favorite characters, with Bernadetta, Ferdinand, and Petra being the top 3. And Dimitri is my favorite lord, but I just do not like the Blue Lions class. It's nearly as much as the Black Eagles. So because of that, Silver Snow is also my favorite route. Not part of the question, but somewhat relevant. And what do I think of the Dynamax OU ban? Please! It's long overdue. Dynamax should have been banned right away. It is the worst addition to competitive Pokemon since Evasion. The worst mechanical addition, at least. Dynamax is just awful, and the fact that it took so long to even get a suspect test, it should have gotten the suspect test day one. And last question is, if I could make one new Pokemon move, then what would it be? So it'd probably be, I'd go with a fire type special version of Dragon Dance. So a fire type move that raises speed and special attack by one stage each. So some people have questioned that this might be broken, but realistically it's not, because some of the strongest fire types already get better options than this. Volcarona already gets Quiver Dance. Heatran, people really probably will not be running setup on a Heatran when they could instead just run Scarf or Bulky like usual. Victini is really the only thing that's especially threatening with this, so really just give it to every single fire type except Victini, and instantly buffs up almost every single fire type. Because even the physical fire types will benefit from just a speed boost at least. So it's basically a blanket buff to all fire types. Just don't give it to Victini, and then you have a lot more balance in viable options. Oh wait, there was one question I forgot about. What is my favorite book? So for series, then Sword Art Online, but for a particular book, then Sword Art Online Progressive. Kind of a hard decision. I'd say probably Sword Art Online Progressive #1. I have not read a lot of the Progressive books yet, but the first one was definitely my favorite of them. And if anyone has questions they want answered in a future Q&A video, then leave them in the comments. I don't know if I'll be able to get to another one after this. It depends on if enough viewer questions come in, because for this one there was no viewer questions at all. So I just had to pick up questions from various conversations that happened on Discord and other places. So see you next time.